Hello to you. Yes, it's Elton Mooner here. Thank you very much for allowing me on your screen. I will be brief. It's a lockdown weekend, and I just wanted to remind you of a podcast series called Bearing Up When the Chips Are Down. It is advert free, sponsorship free. It's a podcast series that I put together because I wanted to try and give something back to an industry that has served me very well for a very long time. So what I've done is to gather 4 experts together and collectively pool their wisdom in the hope that they will be able to help us as an industry get through this particularly tricky time that we're all going through at the moment. The first person I speak to is off the telly. Her name is Emma Kenny, and she is the resident psychologist on This Morning. And she talks about all the emotions that may well be going on in our heads right now, which could be ranging from, I don't know what, frustration, anger, loss maybe, at the whole situation. So she helps us to right size the emotions that we may be going through, and I would certainly recommend listening to her. The second person that I speak to is a professor. Her name is Professor Vicky Culpin. She is from the Ashridge Business School, and she talks about resilience and how we can become more resilient. And she also talks about the one thing that we could all do much better, and if we did do that, it would lead to much better decision making. So that's edition 2, and you will find out what that thing is. Then we go via Zoom to the United States of America. The first person we speak to is an author and regular contributor to the Harvard Business Review. His name is Ron Ashkenaz. He's an innovation expert, and he will tell us why, as an industry, we need to innovate with urgency. And he will also talk about zesty projects, and he will explain what a zesty project is. So that is edition 3 of the podcast. Edition 4 is somebody who is often referred to in the hospitality sector as a hospitality guru, and he is indeed. And that is Jim Sullivan. And I've made a little note here of what he says, and it says, if you try to arrange everything to align with the past, you're missing opportunities in the present and in the future. That's what Jim Sullivan says, amongst other wisdom-filled statements. And he also has this great analogy of a telescope. And he says, make sure that you look through the telescope the right way. In other words, not backwards, but forwards. So that's Jim Sullivan. He's in part 4 of the podcast series. Right, so if you would like to listen to it, just go to Spotify podcasts or Apple podcasts. They would be the 2 that I'd recommend, or whichever podcast platform you use. Type in my name, Elton Mooner, Mouna, and it will pop up, and you will be able to listen to the experts and what they have to say. If you do take something from it, then please do share the contents, and also, of course, hit the subscribe button. But I do hope you get something from it. And now, as if by magic, when I press this button, I will disappear.